guys, so I've just entered my last week in the UK. I will be flying home to Rwanda in a few days, and I just thought that I'd give you a little update on some of the fun things that I've been doing that don't entirely fit into other videos. At the moment I'm house sitting because my mum and Merrick have just gone off to Wales because they've gone to cheer on my cousin Sally, who is absolutely amazing. She's flown in from Australia to do a bicycle ride all the way from the north of Wales down to Cardiff, the capital in the south, and she's doing it in aid of Big Moose Mental Health. So I will drop a link below if you want to go and read about what she's doing. Also check out her music because she's an incredible musician. She even sings in Welsh underwater, so that is something you don't want to miss. So big shout out to my cousin Sally because she's absolutely amazing, and even more so because the weather has not been good lately. It was sort of sunshine, 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 autumn, rain and fog. So today is very, very misty and foggy. There's been a lot of rain in Wales or the south of England, so hopefully she makes it in the dry. So in smaller random news, I had my first bath in about 3 years. Yay! That might sound a little bit weird, but I don't have a bath in Rwanda. I only have a shower, so I don't often get the chance to submerge myself in water. And my mum's got a really nice bath. It's one of those bubbly ones with underlighting. It's like if you pimped your bath, that's what you would get. So I took a swim in the tub, which was really, really nice. I think it's been 3 years because I was here last year, but I was only here for a couple of weeks last year for the Masonic do, and then I went off travelling. So I don't think I actually had a bath last time I was in England, and the time before that was 2021. So yeah, no, I smell good. I'm fine. Something else that I've really been enjoying, I'm very proud of, is the fact that whilst I've been back, I have been looking after the family pianos. I went over to see Dad and Marilyn in Gloucester, and Marilyn's piano, which has been passed down, it's about 93 years old now, and it was having some problems. So, you know, I checked it out, I took it apart, and we actually found it had clothes moths. Now this is something I didn't even know pianos could get, but we dealt with that, we sorted that out. And then here with Mum and Merrick, Merrick has got a piano which was also passed down through his family, and that is also probably about 100 years old, a little bit older maybe, and it had a damp and serious mold issue. So I spent an entire day when the sun was out spraying it, cleaning it up, drying it out, and it's now working really lovely. It's a nice piano. Fun of it, I also fixed the piano up the pub and they paid me in beer, that was good. I think that was a fair trade-off. But if you want to know more about pianos and what I do with pianos, you can check out my tiny other little channel called Kigali Keys, where I just talk about piano repair, and I also show you how to do things. So if you want to clean up your own piano, there's a few little tutorials on there. Now, one of the reasons that I've been in the UK so long is because I desperately wanted to see Beetlejuice. So the original film was a huge part of my childhood. I think it came out in like 1988, I'm gonna say. So I was probably about 7 years old when it came out, but they used to play it on television pretty much every Christmas when I was growing up. So usually Christmas television, it would be Watership Down, which is an animated film where rabbits tear themselves to pieces, a lot of blood and gore, and Beetlejuice. And that is why 80s kids are the way they are. We have trauma. So that was our Christmas, Watership Down and Beetlejuice. And I love that film. You know, I'm all about the creepy. And so I really wanted to see it, but I have spoken before about the problematic situation that we have got in Kigali with our cinema. We've got one cinema, really. We didn't get to see Oppenheimer, we didn't get to see Five Nights at Freddy's, and we won't get to see Beetlejuice, as far as I know. If they do play it, that would be a big win, but at the moment, I'm not taking that risk. I thought if I can stay in the UK just until it's released and watch it, then I will do so. And it came out yesterday, so today, my brother is coming to pick me up and we're going to go and see it, and then we're going to drink a lot because it's my last week in the UK. Love my brother. He's just been doing up his new house. He bought a house a little while ago and he's been rewiring the entire thing himself, totally from scratch. He's just had the heating put in. So he's going to come and pick me up and we're going to go and we're going to celebrate Beetlejuice, his house, and all the good things. We're just going to have a right knees up because when me and my brother get together, I mean, you've probably seen this before. We can put a few away. So yeah, it's going to be a good day. So I'm just going to go get my bags together. I'm going to go and see Beetlejuice, and then I shall be right back to tell you whether or not I thought it was worth staying in the UK for. God, that one there's like a Hoover. It's like gone. Right, so I'm back. It's currently night time. I've got all of the curtains closed. I meant to do this earlier in the day when my brother dropped me off, but I was suffering slightly, and so I passed out on the couch and slept for a couple of hours. It was a bit of a session last night, but we did go and watch Beetlejuice. We went to the showcase in Leicester, great cinema, but I'm now going to tell you whether or not I thought it was worth it. And there are going to be a few spoilers in there. I'm going to talk a bit about what happens and what I thought about it. So if you're waiting to watch this and you don't want to know anything about it, then you can click off the video now, because the end of this video is just going to be me sharing my thoughts about the Beetlejuice sequel. So if you're interested, stick around. If not, no worries, or come back after you've watched it yourself and share your opinions with me. So I'll give you a moment just to click off. Right, so I went to see this with my brother and his girlfriend, and we all kind of came out of the cinema with the same opinion. And then we were a bit kind of surprised because online we've been seeing a lot of people posting that they really, really enjoyed this and they felt that this was, you know, absolutely a worthy sequel. We didn't feel quite as enthusiastic about it. So this is going to probably be an unpopular opinion, given what I'm seeing on social media. But our general feeling towards this was that it was a little bit flat. The original Beetlejuice was just so good. It was kooky in all the right places. It was funny in all the right places. It was totally original. You know, I know everybody likes Easter eggs. It's very nice to hark back to the original and to go, haha, if you've seen the original, you'll get this. But in parts, it just felt a bit like, you know, they ran out of tricks. So they were just repeating a lot of the tricks from the first one and not really adding a huge amount to it. And these two storylines that took off. So there's this one storyline with Jenna Ortega's character where she, without giving too much away, she meets this guy and this whole story unfolds over here. And there's this other story with Beetlejuice where his ex-wife turns up and she's got a killer entrance. I mean, such a good setup. And also with Jenna's such a good setup, but they just kind of seemed to just fizzle. Like you were just getting into it and boom, it was over. And there was no real satisfying kind of story arc. My brother put this really, really well. He said the reason that the first one worked was because there was such a strong, solid storyline going throughout that. You had the couple in the attic who had died, they needed to find a way to cross over, and there was a whole reason for Lydia to be there and to help them. And, there was a real story arc going on there. Whereas in this, it felt like there could have been some really decent story arcs, but then it just was all very, very rushed, and it was like everything was thrown in there and hope for the best. I guess it was more about sort of what you could do with the modern day visuals rather than what you could do with the story. If I was going to do it, and obviously I'm not, but if I was going to do it, the first Beetlejuice, the OG, is brilliant. I mean, you don't want to change anything about that. The sequel, Beetlejuice, it would have been really, really cool if they fully went in on Jenna Ortega's storyline there. And because that is creepy. I mean, that is good, creepy. And she kind of gets kidnapped and taken to the underworld. And Lydia has to try and get Beetlejuice to help her to get her daughter back. That would have made a brilliant, all-encompassing story. And then for Beetlejuice, because of course it's got to be trilogy, hasn't it? For the final one, you could have that repayment where then you had Beetlejuice's bride comes onto the scene, an ex-wife, and he needs Lydia's help to make her go away, to rescue him. So kind of like a payoff trade between them. Because at the end of the first one, neither of them really win. Beetlejuice just goes back to his life and Lydia kind of goes back to her life. But then to have her needing his help and then him needing her help, it could have been a really interesting and entertaining kind of trilogy. But instead it just felt like, oh, what can we cram in there? What new thing can we throw in there? And it just and it was a really, really long time getting started. So by the time it got started, there wasn't much of the film left to end it. And it just, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a terrible sequel. It wasn't like The Crow. They didn't completely kind of bugger it up. But it wasn't, I think, what I would have hoped for, given how long they've had to write the sequel. I mean, it has been a long time to make that. And in all of that time, it could have been kind of more just not energetic, more vibrant. I think it was felt a bit kind of formulaic. So anyway, yeah, it's not a bad film. But let's put it this way, the original Beetlejuice, I will go back and I will watch that again and again and again throughout my life. This one, I'm really glad I went to see it, but I'm probably never going to watch it again. It was okay. But one thing that really kind of surprised me was the cinema itself was pretty much empty. So we paid for these seats that have a little bit of extra leg room. So you've got the cinema and then you've got 2 rows that have got a bit more leg room. And we paid for that. And so did everybody else, because those 2 rows were absolutely filled. And the entire rest of the cinema was completely empty. It was like tundra, which was kind of a bit disturbing because it was a Friday night and it was Beetlejuice, so you would have thought it was the second night of Beetlejuice. You would have thought that it would have been packed, but it wasn't. But given how kind of average a lot of the stuff coming out at the moment is, you can understand it. A lot of the stuff coming out is pretty average. It's rehashing amazing original films and just hoping that the brand name will carry it over, which eventually it doesn't. People get bored of paying to go to see things that they want them to be amazing and they're just kind of okay. And the price of it, like 3 of us going to the cinema, geez, to get snacks, drinks, because you can't take your own in anymore, plus the tickets, it's super expensive. Plus you've got the comfort issue of, like, there were 2 rows and only 2 rows with leg room. And so everybody who wanted a little bit more comfort was kind of sitting next to strangers, which is never, the nicest thing to have to do. And so you can kind of understand why people just don't bother going anymore. I mean, if extra legroom is that popular, have more seats with extra leg room. You can see why people don't go to cinema so much anymore. And especially in the UK, my God, the size of people's televisions here, and people project onto walls as well, and the sound systems, they're just as good as the cinema. So when you can stay at home with all of your food and your drink, and the comfort, you can pause what you're watching. I can see why people don't go to the cinema so much anymore. You only really go to the cinema if it's an experience, a good positive experience, if it offers you something that you can't have at home, and cinemas haven't done that for a really long time now. So anyway, that's not to do with Beetlejuice, but I enjoyed Beetlejuice. Glad I saw it, but anyway, so home to Rwanda now, and yeah, see you there.